Board members, we all set? Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Community Unit School District 300 Board of Education, I would like to thank you for being in attendance both virtually and in person for tonight's board meeting. At this time, I would like to reconvene the meeting of the Community Unit School District 300 Board of Education to order for Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Burkett,
Present.
Fiorentino.
Present.
Lamarca, present. Scarpino,
Present.
Stevens. Present. Thomas.
Present.
Zettler.
Present.
You have 7 board members present.
Thank you. Dr. Harkin?
Yes, I would like to have Principal Jennifer Troy and the Gilbert's Elementary School students join us tonight to lead us in the pledge.
Parents, you are free to stand to the side, take pictures of the kids if you want. Feel free to do that. First, you're going to hear from the building principal, so you can sit down right now. I know you get excited.
The Grizzly parents are fabulous.
Grizzly,
Can I just-
outstanding, outstanding.
They are great. I'd also like to take this opportunity to introduce Mrs. Bellick, our assistant principal, as well. Dr. Harkin, Board of Education, and community members, thank you for inviting Gilbert's Elementary School to participate in this evening's Board of Education meeting. Tonight, it is my pleasure to introduce Annie Atchley, Renz Buagas, Mateo Galati, Danny Gonzalez, Abigail Henson, Gavin Lehman, Olivia Richardson, and Jaden Rowe. Along with these proud Grizzlies before you, it is our honor to share with you a new initiative that these 5th grade students have launched in our school. In wanting to provide our students with leadership opportunities and service learning projects, we have created Grizzlies Give Back. This is a unique experience for our oldest students to give back to the school community where most of them have spent the last 6 years of their lives learning together. So far this year, they have held a food drive for the D300 Food Pantry, collected socks for our Socktober drive, recreated the white table in honor of Veterans Day, along with making presentations in classrooms. In January, students reached out to Gilbert's teachers and provided service to them, including reading with younger students, preparing projects for students, and helping students edit their work. In February, students have made Valentines and donated bingo prizes to local nursing homes. When I asked our students what these experiences have meant to them, Renz Buagas shared, "When I hear Grizzlies give back, it means to be respectful, giving back to the community, being gold, and that I feel like I belong." Gavin Lehman shared, "It is important for students to care about their school and give back to others because if we did not go to school, we would not know as much as we know now. So we need to give back to our school and community to thank them for all they did for us to help us get where we are now." Danny Gonzalez shared, "It is important for students to care about their school and give back to others because it shows that you are considerate to your community and helps others people's lives." As you can see and hear from these students, this project has taught them the meaning and importance of serving others and contributing to their community. The 5th grade teachers, Ms. Duray, Mrs. Curley, Ms. Papik, Mrs. Warfel, and Mrs. Warbia, 2 of which are here tonight, right here, have taken this concept and put all of their ideas into motions with our students. We are all very proud of their accomplishments together and shared learning. Again, we thank you for tonight's invitation to highlight Gilbert's Elementary School, and we now invite you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good job, Jane. You guys come too.
Excellent work, young man.
Yes, yes, thank you very much.
Excellent work.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Parents, you're welcome to stick around for the next 2 hours if you want for our meeting, or you can join your children. They did a great job. We're very proud of your kids and of you. Thank you very much. For those who have watched our board meetings, both in person and over the internet, you will remember we have rules of decorum. These rules serve a purpose so we as a board can have a meaningful and productive board meeting. In order for this to occur, decorum must be maintained. The following are the rules of decorum. First, there's no need for anyone to call out comments during our meeting or to raise their voices, nor to interrupt another speaker or presenter. We as a board will listen to you and we will be respectful. Please we will consider your comments, but will not dialogue or engage with speakers in this forum. Board members may choose to discuss matters brought up during public comment during board discussion. However, I need to remind everyone this would be a board discussion, and the board will not dialogue or engage with anyone other than the superintendent and fellow board members. I ask you to please be respectful, civil, and courteous during our meeting. Second, if a person chooses to be disruptive, I will gavel the person and ask them to please stop their disruptive behavior. Additionally, our district safety officer or his agent may warn them that if they choose to continue their disruptive behavior, additional consequences will be forthcoming. Third, if a person chooses to continue to be disruptive and not follow the rules, they will be removed from our meeting. This action is a direct result of the person's choice to be disruptive. Fourth, as a board, we will respectfully listen to each speaker. Just because we didn't vote the way some of us wanted to does not mean we didn't listen or take into consideration what you had to say. Please remember, we all learn differently. Some of us take notes during presentations and therefore take our eyes off the speaker. It doesn't mean we are not listening. In our effort to accommodate the ability for more seating in our boardroom, we respectfully request that the audience remain in their seats throughout the duration of the meeting, with the exception of using the restroom or speaking at the podium. Finally, I want to thank you in advance for your cooperation. The board and I look forward to a meaningful and productive meeting. Item number 5 on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. There have been no changes at all to the agenda. Therefore, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Zettler,
Aye.
Burkett,
Aye.
Scarpino,
Aye.
Stevens, Thomas, Lamarca, aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Dr. Harkin?
Yes, I'd like to invite Carrie Curry, District 300 Spelling Bee Coordinator, 6th grade language arts teacher from Westfield Community School, to give us an update on our district middle school spelling bee.
And again, parents, you are free to get up, go to the sides, take pictures of your kids. Feel free to.
Good evening. Superintendent Dr. Harkin, School Board President Dr. Scarpino, members of the school board, family, and friends. On Thursday, February 9th, 90 middle schoolers descended on Carpentersville Middle School to prove that spell check should be extinct for the annual middle school district spelling bee. They competed by grade levels and then had a lunch of pizza before returning to their respective schools to complete their day. The winners are as follows. In 6th grade, our second place winner was Alexandra Murdant from Hampshire Middle School. Wave your hand, honey. First place was Veronica Kuzborski from Dundee Middle School. In 7th grade, our second place winner was Ani Avadweta. Wait, say that again? Avaduta from Westfield Community School. And our first place winner was Brielle Bland from Algonquin Middle School. And just a side note, Brielle is a two-peat winner, so she's hoping to go for the big turkey next year. So, all right, 8th grade. Second place, Dexter Reynoso from Algonquin Middle School, and first place, Nathaniel Borkowski, Dundee Middle School. We are also fortunate enough to have 5 students who have represented us at the Kane County Regional Spelling Bee, which is a precursor for the National Scripps Spelling Bee. They are Brielle Bland from Algonquin Middle School, Lisaya Betts from Carpentersville Middle School, Sophia Asagueda from Dundee Middle School, Enerbold Bisaglin from Hampshire Middle School, and Ani Avadweta from Westfield Community School. I would like to thank the following 4 women who are the building coordinators in their respective buildings and help to ensure the district spelling bee is a wonderful day for the students. Jamie Vodvarka from Algonquin Middle School, Andrea Mayer from Carpentersville Middle School, Amanda Hurley from Dundee Middle School, and Heather Piccolotti from Hampshire Middle School. A huge thank you to Matthew Langdon and his staff at Carpentersville Middle School. They helped in every way possible and made us a part of the Cougar family for the day. I appreciate their hospitality and assistance whenever we needed it. This was also the second year that we offered a live stream of the spelling bee during the day, and we have received positive results and will hopefully offer it again next year. Thank you also to Kristen Ulry, Beth Gowdy, and their assistant Mary Gross. They do a lot of the behind-the-scenes work to ensure that items are ordered and things are ready for the students. It was a lot of fun working with these women, and I look forward to do it again next year. Watch your calendars for next year's bee. We're also going to have a school board competition, so come on out. We'll have you spell for us.
Okay.
Boy, looks of confusion across their faces. Wow, that's
Excitement, looks
pretty
of
good. Awesome. I was just kidding. I hope you know that. Thank you very much.
We just want to congratulate you, okay?
That's the one you missed? You'll never miss that one again, right? There you go. What was your word? I know what they are, but I had no idea. Congratulations. Thank you. I'll do it if you pair me up.
Absolutely.
How do we do that? With teams?
Parents, great job. Again, you're welcome to stick around for the meeting. Otherwise, you take your kids and head on home. Thank you very much.
Lackadaisical.
That's a good one there. Extraterrestrial.
Board members, I'm not going to be participating in that spelling bee. Just so you know.
I just want to ask who can spell lackadaisical?
Yeah, who can?
All right, next up to the podium, I'd like to have Sheila Crotty-Kagan, our Director of Fine Arts and Enrichment, to give an update on the 2023 Theater Association All-State Theater and Illinois Music Education Association All-State Music.
Good evening, Superintendent Harkin and members of the board. We are always so glad to be here on occasions like this, and we thank you for the opportunity to bring these students to you for recognition. We're always so proud to announce our All-State Theater and Music students Please know that I'm equally proud to introduce you to their amazing teachers who truly go the extra mile for their students, their programs, and our community. On this day, we recognize so many talented students and their achievements at the state level in both theater and music. We will have both individual students, and we will also have the full Dundee Crown Jazz Ensemble, who is selected as an ensemble to participate this year. And it's also so important to recognize what happens every day in their classrooms and rehearsals that helps to lead our students to these successes. So with that, I'm very proud to introduce Chris Cherry and Emma Leland from Hampshire High School and Jennifer Parker from Jacobs High School, who will introduce and recognize our All-State Theater students.
Good evening. My name is Chris Cherry, and I'm the choir director at Hampshire High School. I am not the theater director, but I do direct the musicals at the high school, and I've had the pleasure of having both of these young actors in our program for the last few years. These students applied and auditioned back in June with over 200 students from around the state of Illinois, and we're selected as 2 of 67 for the entire cast of Shrek the Musical. They started rehearsing in August, mainly on the weekends, where they were at Downers Grove High School all weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes on a Monday rehearsing these shows, and they were able to perform the show at Theater Fest in January down at U of I. They are just two wonderful, wonderful students and actors. Just a shameless plug, if you want to come see Little Mermaid in a couple weeks at Hampshire High School, we got Flounder and Ursula up there for you. Tickets are on sale now. And I'd like to turn it over to Jen Parker from Jacobs.
Again, I'm Jen Parker from Jacobs High School. I am the choir director as well, not the theater director, and this year, sadly, not the musical director either. Braden can't join us today, but he is quite an amazing student who has been self-motivated and just, if you've ever met him, a ball of crazy, awesome energy. And he's just a light of the school, and we're so proud of him and what he's done in our theater department, and we hope that he does the best of work as he goes on his journey next year in college.
And then you guys can do the circle, the shake, and the...
Oh, okay, we're here, come on.
Theater, right? Like, what do we do? Well done.
Oh, there you are. I didn't see you. I was like... And now we'd like to recognize our All-State music students. So I'd like to also bring up to the podium Jake Stauffer from Dundee Crown High School.
Again, parents, feel free to stand up, take pictures of the kids.
All right, good evening. My name is Jake Stauffer. I'm the choir director over at Jacobs High School. It's nice to see you again. Oh, did I say? Oh, you did. Oh, I used to be the choir director at Jacobs High School.
A long time. That's great.
You got their attention.
Good evening. My name is Jake Stauffer, and I am the choir director at Dundee Crown High School. Thank you. Wow, that was nice. So anyway, I'm here to introduce two of our three all-state musicians. We have Gavin Doherty and Fabian Perez in front of you. Not in front of you is Tessa Hazlitt, who is somewhere. But we had three amazing students from Dundee Crown High School make this, and as the state past president for the Illinois Music Education Association, I can tell you this is an incredibly difficult process. These students went through a virtual audition process this fall. They go up against thousands of students from across the state to be considered just in our area. And then they go up against thousands more to be considered at the all-state level. So for our district to have the representation that you'll see tonight is fantastic. So again, our two students, Gavin sang in the honors choir, and Fabian both played in the big band, but also is a fantastic clarinet player as well, and played in the honor ensembles at All-State. So yeah, here are two of our three students, and please give them a round of applause for all the work they do.
But don't go anywhere. I'm going to have the Hampshire students join you guys so we can do a picture of everybody. So next up, I'm going to bring back Jen Parker to announce our Jacobs students.
We're all confused. This is
Unfortunately, like again, our students are so crazy busy right now, so they were not able to join. But the cool part is that from Jacobs, we have 4 students that were involved in 4 different activities at Allstate this year. Jean-Denis de Beauvoir was actually a composition student who got an honorable mention at the composition recital. Jessica Gore was the Allstate choir. And then Katie Puente was future music educator, which you might have actually heard her name's being spoken a while, like for the last 2 weeks, because she ran the 24-hour musical over at Jacobs and raised a lot of money for the Trevor Project. And then the last student up there is Allie Pierre, who was in the Honors Allstate Orchestra. We are very extremely proud of all these students and what they do, and we're so excited to see such a wide variety from Jacobs this year. So again, thanks so much, and a round of applause for them. Appreciate it.
All right. And finally, we'd like to recognize our Hampshire High School All-State students. We were very fortunate to have 27 Hampshire High School students represented in different ensembles at the district level, both choir, band, orchestra, jazz band, vocal jazz. And out of those, we had 5 students that were selected to participate at the All-State level. Not here with us tonight is Jillian Vanderhayden and Genevieve Bangert, who made the Honors Chorus and the All-State Chorus. With us going down the line, we have Andre Santiago, who is in the All-State Chorus, Taven Grigsby, who is in the All-State Chorus, Ben Gilbert, who is in the All-State Orchestra, and Jillian Bangert, who was in the All-State Chorus. So congratulations to all of you.
Shake some hands. Don't shake babies, just shake hands.
Parents, thank you very much. Very proud of your kids, your grandkids, very proud of them.
And one more very big group to bring in. As I mentioned earlier, students can be selected individually for All-State music and theater roles, and we can also be selected to bring an entire group of students to perform at the Illinois Music Educators All-State Conference. This year, we were very proud to have the Dundee Crown High School Jazz Ensemble selected to perform. They did an amazing job, so I'd like to welcome their director, Mr. Will Brocker.
Oh, wow. Wow, thank you very much.
And then did you remember the 3 lovely ladies up at the front with the laptops? Thank you, thank you. Yeah, awesome. In front of you tonight, you see a part of the Dundee Crown Jazz Ensemble. You can see the list of names on any of these lovely screens around you. Those of them here tonight, this group auditioned and was chosen out of several different ensembles that auditioned to perform at the All-State level. We performed on a Saturday morning at the Music Educators Conference of Illinois, and there were a couple hundred different music teachers in attendance, as well as other music students, and just had a really great time. They really knocked it out of the park with their performance. I'd like to recognize them. Those here tonight include Olivia Gifford, Mac Malcolm. Raise your hands, yeah, so everyone can see who you are. Yeah, Mac Malcolm, Emilio Elmo Miralrio, Colin Moore, Cecilia Oakes, Maria Oakes, Fabian Perez, Damian Roque, Kiki Salas, and Pranav Saravanan. And then those at home watching right now, I'm sure, Yao Camacho, Aiden Dunphy, Tessa Hazlitt, who you heard also was a All-State flutist, Xander Catulis, Mac Malcolm, oops, I said him already, Sebastian Molina, Christopher Menares, Emilio Rodriguez, Alexander Rodriguez, John Salas, Kevin Svek, Natalia Sacherba, and Antonio Vidalis, the Dundee Crown Jazz Ensemble.
I'm going to follow you guys out.
Yep, around here first. Oh, yeah, there you go, there you go. That's good, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to you. Great kids, parents and grandparents, great kids. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And that concludes the
That concludes-
recognition
okay, thank
for
you
our
very much.
students tonight. Okay.
We're on item number 7, public participation. We've had 3 people sign up for public participation. I will call each of you individually up to the podium. Please state your name and relationship to the district and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please note the following. Each speaker has been provided with the guidelines for public participation. Minors need to be accompanied by their parents or guardians. The board will consider your comments but will not dialogue or engage with speakers in this forum. Questions raised may be assigned to the superintendent for an answer. As appropriate, a member of the administration may reach out to the speaker to give them relevant information or to ask for additional information. This is done to make sure the board has all the information needed to properly address the speaker's concern. Charges, complaints, or challenges against staff members of the district will not be heard in open meetings and should be made in writing to the board and superintendent. We also ask that speakers refrain from personally attacking district staff or members of the board. Please note that the Open Meetings Act provides any person the opportunity to address the board under the adopted public participation policy. That being said, the board would like to advise the public that we will not consider statements read by during public participation that are not authored by the reader to be credible unless the board has previously received the statement in writing from the author. Additionally, the author should indicate that he or she has granted the public participant the authority to read the statement on his or her behalf. Pursuant to Board Policy 2:150, Ethics and Gift Ban, and Illinois Election Code, Section 9-25.1, district property or resources cannot be used in connection with any prohibited political activity, including urging any elector to vote for or against any candidate or proposition. Speakers may not engage in electioneering during public comment and while on district property. If a public participation participant chooses to violate the Illinois Election Code, Section 9-25.1, a warning will be issued, and any subsequent violation will be submitted to the state's attorney for review and consideration of initiating criminal charges against the speaker for violating applicable law. We ask each participant to be respectful to all individuals who have signed up to speak and adhere to the allotted time limit. We also ask that speakers conduct themselves in a civil and courteous manner and refrain from trying to engage members of the board in dialogue during public participation. Failure to abide by board time rules or those found out of order by the board may lead to exclusion from the meeting to be fair to all participants. Pursuant to board policy, this evening's participants must limit their comments to 3 minutes. Thank you for your understanding and your cooperation. Our first speaker for 3 minutes is Tim Layer. Thank you. Yes.
Hello, good evening. My name is Tim Layer. I am a elementary teacher, 5th grade at Perry Elementary. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this evening. Again, let me reiterate, my name is Tim Layer. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Perry Elementary. I'm also a board member, and I know the commitment and long hours you devote to this district. I would like to say how much I appreciate everyone serving our community. I also want to thank you for your support at Perry Elementary. From our coaches, Andrea, who's in the audience, Hannah, Erica, Lisa, and Jennifer, to administration, to updated curriculum and supplies, I feel the students continue to improve academically. I am excited to keep growing as a teacher in D300 and to help students be the best they can be. Thank you.
Thank you. Our second speaker for 3 minutes is James Sharkey.
Good evening, board. How are you? Good to see you. Am I permitted to recognize some candidates out in the audience who we're very proud of? Is that
That's
permitted or not?
considered electioneering, sir.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, they're in the audience, and I'm excited about them, and just excited that if they are elected, they'll do a wonderful job serving our kids. So, I don't know if you guys were aware of this, but last Saturday, Charlie Kirk was in town, and he spoke over here at the Holiday Inn, and it was just the most amazing room full of people committed to kids, committed to freedom, committed to excellence in schooling, and it was the most amazing group of people who have homeschool, Christian, classic education, hybrid models. It is exploding. So I don't know if you guys are planning on closing schools or expecting to close schools, but there's a lot going on. And I just encourage you to attend those events, learn from them, and we're excited about the future. I wanted to let you know that we've been doing a lot of work on our end of things, on the kind of the non-public school portion of education, educating ourselves. And one of the key books we've been getting into is, and I recommend it, Battle for the American Mind. So if Pete Hegseth rings a bell, he's the host on Fox News in the morning. He's all over this issue. And we've been learning how the Marxists spread their plans for dominating American education back in the late 1800s. We understand how that came over to America from the Frankfurt School over to Columbia University, into the teachers' unions, and here we are. So we get surprised during COVID with all this critical race theory, all the sex education, all the porn, and we're going, how did that happen? Well, it turns out they were very patient. What you need to know about us, we're not nearly as patient. We're working hard to protect kids from divisive education and from school boards that will empower departments like Mr. Harry's department.
Excuse me, sir. Please, please do not do that, please.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
But we're excited about making those changes. And I want to encourage you to read this book. Please say hello to the governor when you have a chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker for 3 minutes is Sharon Fetting.
Thank you. My name is Sharon Fetting. I have 2 kids in Jacobs High School. First off, I just want to talk to the parents who may be coming into the school or who are just happen to be watching for the first time here. I want to remind them to make sure that you opt out of all surveys from this school. They're data mining your children. The other thing is I just want to make sure that people understand that right now the school counselors can talk to your children at least a total of 7 times before they have to inform the parent. They're trying to take away parental rights. So I just want to make sure anyone that's maybe watching for the first time that they are aware of that. Let's see. I had posted this on Facebook, and I'm going to read it because I thought it was a pretty good post. I just put on there, I want a good education for my children, not indoctrination. I don't want the school to lie to me when I ask them a question. I don't want the school to think they can impose illegal mandates on my children. I don't want the school to encourage a vaccine I do not approve of and has been proven to cause harm. I do not want the school to eventually grade my kids for SEL, not doing it yet, but they will soon. I do not want a school who is going to worry about pronouns and sexuality over math, English, and history. It's exhausting keeping up with all the BS this district dishes out. So I just want to make parents who, like I said, who may not be aware, but there's a lot going on in this district, and that's why we need new leadership. My other problem is that this district took us to court to fight us over the mask mandates, and you lost, and we still employ the law firm. So my question is, why are we wasting money with this law firm Since they lost in court, so they obviously don't know the law, so they should not be representing D300. The law firm needs to go. Let's see what else I got on here. I want the school to focus on excellence, not equity. Equity is not equal opportunity. I want equal opportunity, not equity. Equity does no one any good in the school or anywhere. Do I have time to read? Oh, okay, I guess I'll read my other portion next time I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. O'Keefe, would you, I would like you, because I have heard the comments, and I realize I'm speaking before the board discussion, but I would like to clarify a couple things right now. Ms. O'Keefe, if you wouldn't mind talking about the legal case and things like that, please. You might have to come up here, please.
Thank you. That case has been referenced many times in public participation, so I relish the opportunity to kind of clarify what actually did happen. So the case that's referenced was filed in February of 22. We will refer to that as the mask mandate school removal case, filed by several parents in the district, including parents from multiple other districts throughout the state. And at that time it was filed, a temporary restraining order was issued. That temporary restraining order impacted the named plaintiffs only. As the name suggests, that order was temporary. It was vacated the next month in March of 22. With respect to the case on the merits, the claims, the district's law firm, external law firm, filed a motion to dismiss in August of 22, and that motion was granted, and the same judge that issued the temporary restraining order found that the plaintiff's claims were legally deficient and moot. So in fact, the district was successful on the merits of the case. The plaintiffs only received a temporary restraining order, which was in effect for less than 4 weeks.
Excuse me. Okay. This is a board discussion. This does not involve you. Thank you.
Based on that ruling, the district was removed from the case, and that ruling, from the district's perspective, was a successful one. I do want to, for the record and for the edification of people who don't know, I take no credit for that successful ruling. Meaning the district was represented by the talented attorneys at a law firm named Angler Callaway, and they deserve full credit for that outcome. My role in this district, I think, is what is being referenced to as the person who needs to be terminated. I do not work for an external law firm. I'm in-house chief legal counsel. I am a salaried employee of this district. I have been in this role for over 10 years. The law firm that represented us in this matter is one of several law firms that represent the district when it comes to litigation matters that are not handled by my very small office of one attorney, one paralegal, and one assistant. So just wanted to clarify that for the record.
Thank you. Board members, do you have any questions for Ms. O'Keefe at all?
So let's,
Can I just ask for clarification? The district did not take.
Joe, go to the.
right.
Joe, go to the mic. Go to the mic.
Correct. The question from Mr. Stevens is did the district take parents to court, or did parents take the district to court? In that matter, the parents that filed were the plaintiffs, so they were the filing parties, and the defendant was, the district was one of many defendant districts throughout the state.
When you say many, can you put a number or an approximate number on that?
Gosh, if recollection serves, over 100?
It was
160.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Close to 200.
Yes, close to 200 districts we're a party to that matter.
Any, okay. Any other board members? No? Thank you very much, Ms. Keefe. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Board announcements, good news.
All right. Teacher at DeLacy Family Education Center receives Those Who Excel Award. Yasmin Villamar, a bilingual preschool teacher at DeLacy Family Education Center, has received a Those Who Excel Award from the Illinois State Board of Education. Those Who Excel awards honor educators who have made significant contributions to the state's public and non-public elementary and secondary schools. Specifically, Ms. Villamar's award recognizes meritorious service in the program's Early Career Educator category. DeLacy principal Karen De La Paz shared the following. Yasmin works with at-risk and special education students in a preschool for all classroom. She communicates frequently with parents and incorporates what she learns into lesson plans and activities that are personalized to student interests. She is an active problem solver using a team approach that includes facilitating conversations with speech and language pathologists, occupational therapists, and paraprofessionals. Ms. Valamar's peers look to her for ideas and support in their classrooms. District 300 congratulates Ms. Villamar for receiving a Those Who Excel Award from the Illinois State Board of Education.
Jacobs High School Robotics Club hosted a club event with Dundee Middle School. Students from the Jacobs High School Robotics Club recently delivered a presentation to the Dundee Middle School Robotics Club that included information about engineering, building, and programming robots. The Jacobs students also discussed what related classes the middle schoolers should consider taking at the high school level and discussed VEX robotics competitions, which Dundee Middle School is looking to participate in the next school year. The gathering also included a beef robot competition with 3D printed trophies designed by the Jacobs CAD students being presented to the top 3 winning groups. District 300 wishes to congratulate the students in the Jacobs Robotics Club for reaching out and hosting an engaging event with the Dundee Middle School students.
Dundee Crown High School senior accepted into apprenticeship program for electricians. Dundee Crown High School senior Daniel Gantz has been accepted into the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, also known as the IBEW, Local 134 Apprenticeship Program for Electricians. Orientation to become a Local 134 apprentice includes physical training, health screenings, and background checks. Then classroom instruction begins, with the next 5 years involving a rotation of in-class learning and in-field contractor work. Dundee Crown Electrical instructor Nick Linden has known Daniel since freshman year, noting, "I have complete confidence in Daniel succeeding as he has demonstrated himself to be an ambitious, respectful student, demonstrating a high aptitude to excel at anything he focuses upon." District 300 congratulates Daniel Gantz and wishes him the best of luck as he enters the IBEW Local 134 Apprenticeship Program.
Gilbert's Elementary School Dodgeball event raises funds for American Cancer Society. Gilbert's Elementary School recently hosted a dodgeball event at Dundee Middle School for a good cause. The staff versus students dodgeball tournament raised more than $2,300 for the American Cancer Society. Funds came from participant fees, spectator fees, a 50-50 raffle, and concession sales. Gilbert's principal, Jennifer Troy, thanked the Dundee Middle School administrative team, the physical education staff, and the custodial crew for their assistance with the tournament, noting, "This event helps bring our entire community together for a worthy cause." District 300 congratulates Gilbert's Elementary School for hosting a successful fundraiser for the American Cancer Society.
Okay. Superintendent report, Dr. Harkin.
And I just want to say, I think tonight is such a great example of all the great things that are going on. We have staff being recognized at the state level. We had students being recognized at the state level. We recently had our cheer and dance competition at the state level. Our debaters this weekend, I had the opportunity, are making it to the state level. We have trades programs for students that are thriving in those areas. And certainly we have very generous, kind students by their generosity that was exampled tonight by our Gilbert students. I'm very proud of all the work that our families, our staffs, our students participate on a daily basis for the betterment of our school. And I really look forward to tonight's superintendent's report, where I will have first Sheila Karate-Kagan and Joe Sosowski to talk about some wonderful summer camps that we'll be providing to our students, as well as we will be transitioning to what we had promised at the last meeting, an update on our strategic plan, where we will be extremely focused on how we will be improving our students' achievements as well as able to be successful in our schools. So I'm extremely proud of what we do on a daily basis and how hard everybody that is a District 300 staff, along with our students, work hard to be successful. So with that, I'd like to invite up Joe Sosowski and Sheila Karati-Kagan to talk about our summer camps that we'll be providing to our families.
Good evening once again, Superintendent Harkin and members of the board. We're very excited to share some additional information about our upcoming summer programs for our students. Anything that we can do to support student learning throughout the year and give our students new and unique experiences outside of the normal school year is so important to creating a more enriching and rewarding educational experience. What you will see on my first slide, on the left of each of the two slides I'm going to show you, are the flyers that we are using to advertise these programs. They're available in both English and Spanish. Information can also be found on the summer programs page of the D300 website. Families can register through the D300 web store. Registration is now open. Additionally, we have a limited number of scholarships available to students who qualify for free lunch because we want all students to be able to participate. Families can email or call me for more information about those. This year's program is at Carpentersville Middle School. We will have 2 10-day sessions. Our first session will be for band, orchestra, and choir. This year we're going to expand choir to include students going into 5th grade to give our students an earlier start in vocal music. The second session will feature art and theater for both students entering grades 3 through 5, as well as students entering grades 6 through 8 in the fall. The second session was something that we added last year, and we were able to expand our programming to have opportunities for our younger students as well. And it was very well received. A lot of families were already emailing to ask when it was, when it was going to happen and how could they register. And to see that level of excitement from our families was very special.
Good evening, Board of Education, Board President Dr. Scarpino, and Superintendent Harkin. Thank you for the opportunity tonight to get to speak to you about our D300 Rising 5th through 8th grade CTE Summer Enrichment Camps. This is the second summer that they'll be running. The pictures you see on the right are from last summer, and some great examples of 7th and 8th graders actually stick welding in our booths, to building robotics, to working with CAD, 3D printing. So a variety of experiences they participated in last summer. I would like to first stress and thank our teachers in CTE, our amazing teachers in CTE, as none of this would be possible without their support and dedication to offering this over the summer and the extra time that goes into planning this. To start with, through the month of June, various 5th and 6th grade camps, as well as 7th and 8th grade career-related camps, will be running at Hampshire High School and Dundee Crown High Schools. Jacobs High School was omitted this year simply because of the construction projects taking place starting immediately when the summer begins, and my understanding will last a good chunk of the summer. These camps are running mainly in June, so May 30th through June 2nd, Hampshire High School will be running a 7th and 8th grade camp. Those camp topics include baking, cooking, welding, manufacturing, automotive technology, fashion apparel and textile, robotics, entrepreneurship, financial concepts, and engineering related camps. June 5th through the 8th, Dundee Crown High School will run their 7th and 8th grade camp that includes electricity and automotive technology, baking, cooking, entrepreneurship, fashion, apparel, and textile, and financial concepts related camps. The last week, June 20th through the 23rd, will be at Hampshire High School again. This one is targeted at 5th and 6th graders. The camp topics will include baking, cooking, robotics, entrepreneurship, fashion, apparel, and textile, engineering, and financial concepts as well. These camps are for rising 5th through 8th graders, so that means next year's 5th through 8th graders, this year's 4th through 7th graders. So I want to make sure families understand that. Students from any school can participate and attend any of the camps, whether they're at Dundee Crown or Hampshire High School. The camps are run from 8 a.m. to 10:15, as well as 11 a.m. to 1:15. Students can choose to attend either what we're calling the AM or the PM sessions, or both. Transportation will be provided when requested through middle school hub stops. A snack will be provided for the students staying for both sessions, and all students will have something to take home as part of the experience, which may include something they created in one of the camps. We have had great growth and listened to the families' feedback as much as possible from last year. We had additional topics for each camp, including business, fashion, and manufacturing related camps, as well as more detailed descriptions for each camp. We have also aligned our camps with ECC's Kids College, which mainly runs in July. ECC's Kids College is for students ages 5 to 15. A variety of career-related experiences are included in ECC's Kids College programs, and that's our way. The feedback last year was they want more, and our staff is limited in their time, so the way we're able to provide more is by partnering with Elgin Community College when possible. More information or how to register for D300 CT camps can be found at d300summer.weebly.com/summer-enrichment.html. For more information about ECC's Kids College, you can visit elgin.edu/academics/continuing-education/kids-college/. Again, thank you for this opportunity to speak with you on behalf of our CTE programs. We greatly thank our teachers, as this wouldn't be possible without them. Now back to Sheila, who will speak on behalf of our summer athletic camps.
I just keep coming back today. So on behalf of Mr. Tommy Parisi, I also wanted to share some brief information regarding the upcoming sports camps. District 300 partners with our coaches to offer a variety of camps at each high school. Registration will also be available through the web store coming soon. At the end of March, you'll see that a full list of each coach's camps will be posted to the D300 web store for families to register. Registration fees vary by the different type of camp due to certain factors such as the number of hours that the camp meets and are required in order to offer the athletic camp. And Mr. Parisi highly encourages anyone with questions to reach out to the high school athletic departments. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Board members, any questions? Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And just so you know, we did expand those offerings and really because it takes a big effort to make all of that happen, not only from these lovely people that just came up and spoke about them, but again, our teachers who commit their time over the summer to do that as well, because these camps aren't possible with all those people contributing towards it. So thank you for your efforts to make that happen. And so Dr. Smith is up here with Ms. Freeman will be joining them. And again, just as a reminder, last meeting we went on a high-level overview on the various areas that we will be focusing on related to our strategic plan. And now we're going to go deeper into what the specific work will be, what the task will be, what the research is that's behind how we're formulating our work to move this work forward. And so we're going to tonight go through goals 1 and 2, and then at the next board meeting we'll follow the same format for goals 3, 4, and 5. So Dr. Smith, please have your way with this.
Good evening, Board of Education, Superintendent Harkins, staff, parents, families, and community members. Tonight I have the privilege of speaking to you about the plans our district is using to increase engagement and academic success for all students. Tonight's presentation will include a focus on goals 1 and 2 to develop the whole child and to ensure individual growth and academic achievement for all students. Throughout this presentation, you will hear the specific strategies that we will use to accomplish our goals. Although this particular presentation will not speak about our big rocks, collaboration, professional learning communities, diversity, equity, and inclusion, please know these initiatives are built throughout each of the action plans, and we will continue to plan for improvement in those areas as well, along with the integration of rigorous coursework, instructional technology, and expanded opportunities for our students. We hope that after tonight's presentation, you will understand our commitment to improve academics as a district, the specific actions that we will take to improve what those specific steps are, and we hope that you feel our unwavering commitment to all of our students in District 300. So now I will turn it over to our Goal 1 guru, Ms. Shelley Nackey, and I will be back with you in a moment. But as she comes up to the podium, you can see we have posted here again our mission statement and our vision statement for District 300.
No pressure. Guru. I've never been called a guru before, so. Thank you for the opportunity tonight. Even though Dr. Smith said I'm the guru, I couldn't do it without the support of the team. On the team for Goal 1 is Adrian Harries, Basilio Salazar, Dave Nowak, Sam Ladeau, and Todd Rowling. So I'm really not the guru, I'm just the voice tonight. So as we talked about Goal 1, it is about that whole child, of ensuring that all students are well-rounded beyond the access of the academics and that. Sorry, I did bring my water tonight. So, as Dr. Harkin reviewed in our last board meeting, our key priorities is to engage the students, engagement and the sense of engagement and belonging, and improve safety and security. And our focuses are stated up there along with our key priorities that we are going to go a little bit more in depth than you did at the last meeting. So when we look at student attendance, one of our first priorities is that of improving our student chronic absenteeism rates. When you look at student absenteeism over the last 5 years in District 300, in 2018, we were at 11.3% compared to the state that was at 16.8%. Taking us up to this year of 2022, based on our school report card that you had a presentation of, we were at 30.9% and our state was at 29.8%. This is the first time in 5 years that we were higher than the state. Mr. Stevens, we heard you that this is definitely an area that needs to be focused on within our attendance, because if our kids are not at school, anything else we do is not going to really matter. So when we look at the research, we really looked at attendance works. This has found that chronic absency has can be significantly reduced when schools, families, and community partners work together to monitor the data, promote good attendance, and address any hurdles that keep students out of school. How we can do this is through our multi-tiered systems of supports to maintain those areas. So what are some of the areas that we're going to be able to do to work at that? We can create buy-in with representative groups made up of all schools. We have started this work already of a district attendance committee and be able to integrate our current practices in with our research that the team is doing to provide the best evidence-based interventions and supports that we can do on a daily basis for our families. We also have to keep in mind that attendance is also a behavior. So keeping that to be a proactive engagement and response is how we should align our behavioral multi-tiered systems of support to utilize all of our resources. That means our staff, our families, and our community resources of how to support that.
And always remember to try to keep that least restrictive setting for students. So how do we keep them in the classrooms at the most possible way? We also look through our district attendance committee to look at giving recommendations on how do we help build our D300 attendance procedures and manuals and being able to communicate that with the family. So we can look at reference points for daily work and provide consistency for all of our students, families, and staff. So we don't want one student in one building to have rules of like one thing and being told one thing and it's something different in another building. How do we keep that consistent for all schools? When we look at behavior, we also look at our office discipline referrals. Sometimes you may hear this as ODRs. Research tells us the goal is always to reduce the number of students dismissed or removed from the instructional environment. Same if we get them to school, we want to keep them in the classroom. So how do we do that? So looking at preventative disciplinary actions to be able to do that. Prevention is always the key when you're looking at anything with discipline. How do you be proactive and reduce those discipline? So one of the ways to look at that is really developing our staff and equipping our staff with restorative practices. This improves the classroom environment. Staff will learn proactive approaches to develop the community within the school. This addresses the behaviors that arise in academic and non-academic settings. You'll be surprised how many things may happen on a bus, right? Staff who proactively develop the community and build relationships within their classroom, students will be more effective with their students will be more effective when behavioral issues occur that do not address, that don't address them. Sorry, I need a drink. My mouth is dry. When we're looking at that second bullet point, it continues with professional development of training our staff and reviewing the differences between office managed and teacher managed behavior. Some of you may be saying, what is that? So an example may be an office or a classroom handled behavior would be if a student takes a pen from another student, you would want to be able to have that conversation with the student about respecting each other's property, which could be different than if a student steals another student's cell phone or money. That has a higher consequence or price, and that would be an office managed behavior. So how do we work with our staff to understand those differences between office managed and teacher managed behaviors? This will help build in that community and that sense of allowing teachers to be able to teach. The third bullet point of reviewing what is our overall district discipline referrals, our ODRs as we mentioned. Discipline data will be reviewed monthly to track office discipline referrals through our discipline review committee. Data will be reviewed each month comparing the current year to the previous years. Data will be reviewed quarterly at discipline training sessions and work on building up those systems. Discipline data will also be reviewed and shared with building processes such as through our PBIS or our positive behavior interventions and support teams to focus on these areas. Our third one is that of our sense of belonging for students. The Education Advisory Board says that a lack of meaningful connection to the school can lead to chronic absenteeism, connecting back to the first one, academic struggles, and dropping out of school. Relationships is particularly important with students who may have a history of trauma or difficulty in their background. Research shows that children with caring adults outside of the home are 10% more likely to show interest in learning, 11% more likely to stay calm when facing challenges, and 28% less likely to feel sad or depressed with those relationships. Our goal is to be able to build those relationships within our students by increasing their experience and being able to have a trusted adult that they are with. By getting students' perceptions and hearing their voice is to assess the student engagement and a student's sense of belonging to be able to feel connected to that school community. Understanding our students' needs and is an excellent method for determining whether our students' equity committee impact is that of the sense of belonging. Student equity committees serve as real-life opportunities on problem-based and project-based learning. The students' voice are utilized to determine areas of the school needing improvement and propose solutions to address these areas of concern. Through the use of efforts of fine-tuning our growth and district equity committees, ensuring the district's continued support for our schools and improvement within these engagements. And last but not least, by far, is always our safety. We know that communication is key. We know that having a proactive approach is also key. Safety is a priority for everyone in our school. Finding the safety voice of all stakeholders with professional development for all. District 300 has a strong safety focus with a safety committee in all of our buildings and development of these plans. The process will continue to grow and strengthen our safety systems. With that, we also develop a security enhancement review process. Sorry to say, Mr. Rowling can't be in every building all the time, even though we try to like him to be that way. The process will develop to be able to see those safety security issues ahead of time. Any staff, any students can notify us if there is a safety concern that can be readily addressed and fast. Our ultimate goal always is 100% safety at all times. We also ask our staff to feel safe. Through our staff morale safety, we want to increase that by a 0.1% to have our staff feeling safe as well. Are there any questions on goal 1?
Board members, any questions? Oh, thank you very much. Whoop. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, go right ahead. I'm sorry.
I had a question about the student advisory committees that you're talking about under priority 1B.
Yep.
Do you have any more detail? Has that details been developed for that yet? Meaning, would it be at all schools, at all grade levels? Kind of how might we structure those committees? And if that's too in the weeds right now for today, you can come back to it the next time.
We're going to call Mr. Harris?
No.
Nope, you got to go to the mic.
Please go to the mic.
Yeah, you can have the dry mouth at the mic.
Go to the mic. Good evening. I will be brief. So right now we are targeting high schools. They are actually up and running at all of our high schools. What we are looking for right now is consistency. So all of the right now, depending from week to week, and they do meet on a weekly basis. One session we might have 10, the next session we might have 3, and it's hard to actually provide some education around what we're looking for when we have that degree of inconsistency. So right now our goal is to just continue to work with our students, get them excited, get them coming, because it's hard for them to elicit voice if they're not consistently coming. So they are up and running, but right now we're targeting our high school.
Okay, and then will it trickle down eventually, maybe once we get a structure for that?
Eventually, hopefully, long term, our high school will set the standard for what we can do in other schools, but first we want to get our high schools tight and up running well so that they can actually come and meet with some of our leadership to inform us about changes that we need to make.
Okay, so then, sorry, just to, I'm
yeah,
sorry, just one more thing on that. So
enjoy
then
this.
you're going to get the information from them on how they're feeling about what they're seeing in their schools, and it's going to go back to your department?
So actually, it's not going to go to my department. We've got a massive delta, and every time I look up, our district equity leadership team keeps growing because we realize that there are more and more people that we need at the table, and that will be the team that will really look at the information that our kids bring to the table, because it's not just our department. It impacts all of our departments, and when you look at DELT, it's some 40 staff members that cover just about every area of our district.
But to your point, the plan would be is that there would be a connection, and we have this on the Equity Action Plan, which is that I would be meeting with those groups as well too, and Dr. Smith after I leave. So the intention would be is to get student voice, would be once these are up and running, which would be the expectation for next school year, that we would be pushing into their meetings on some frequency to then have those conversations and get that feedback right here at the front lines.
Okay, because great, then I was hoping that the follow-up to that would be that the board would then receive some of that information and feedback as well.
Yes.
So as long as we've got that communication loop going, I think that's a great addition to give student voice.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 100%.
Any other questions, board members? No? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Turn over to that.
Okay, goal 2, ensure individual student growth and achievement. And you can see there the overview. Ensure all students have the ability to access coursework that aligns with their individual strengths, interests, and needs. Again, at the last meeting, we reviewed the key priorities for this goal: increase student academic success and the strategic focus, improve and implement Tier 1 and 2 instruction with fidelity to address student learning needs in all classrooms. And that includes reading and math. Strengthen and improve the multi-tiered academic systems of support. You heard Ms. Nackey previously speak to the multi-tiered systems of support previously for Goal 1 as well. Strengthen early college experiences and credit options for all high school students. So the goal of Dr. Freeman and I tonight is to talk more about the action steps for the priority tasks that you see here on this slide. You will see and hear some of the strategies that we will be engaging in for each task through our action plans, the research behind some of our strategies, and the SMART goals and key performance indicators, KPIs, that we will use to measure our performance. So when we look at the key priority for reading, some items that we will engage in, some have started and they will continue to go all through the next school year. Elementary principals will participate in workshops with district administrators over the summer to support them to create these master schedules that you'll see referred to in bullet point number 1. In collaboration with district and building administrators, we will build elementary master schedules to reflect increased literacy instructional minutes. And specifically, you'll hear me go into the kindergarten through 2nd grade integration pieces for science and social studies. Research like EAB's, the Education Advisory Board study on narrowing the 3rd grade reading gap, demonstrate that an effective literacy block provides protected instructional time for explicit, systematic instruction in foundational reading skills. If you could imagine with me for a moment a rope that is woven together. The language comprehension strand is comprised of 5 areas. So think about that rope being woven into 5 different areas for language comprehension when we talk about literacy. Background knowledge, vocabulary, language structure, verbal reasoning, and literacy knowledge are those 5 areas that we will need to explicitly teach to children to build their capacity for reading. The second part of this rope, so think about another rope, it is woven into 3 parts, and that is called word recognition. Those strands are comprised of those 3 pieces of that rope: phonological awareness, decoding, and word recognition. Sight word recognition specifically for kindergarten through 2nd grade. So when you think about the language comprehension strand with those 5 pieces of the rope woven together, and the word recognition strands that are woven together, when you put those all together, we get what is called Scarborough's rope, which is a major piece of the science of reading, which is our, we're basing all of our literacy instruction in moving forward. It's our ultimate goal that all students in District 300 will read. Each of these strands builds the base for us to close the literacy gap for students in District 300. So when you see these action steps here, sorry, I think I'm catching a cold. Some things that we'll need to do is increase those instructional minutes so we have time to hit all those areas for our kindergarten through 1st grade students, first and 2nd grade students. Part of that will include their science and social studies integration to allow for 120 minutes within that literacy block. And we have a specific plan for how we will continue to implement the science and social studies standards in those grade levels as well, and build that support in for our teachers to make sure that our students are not missing out on that content. Another plan that we will include is implementation for a plan for our multi-age self-contained special education classrooms to support those teachers and those students with those programs as we assure that they have access to their grade level appropriate material, as well as, thank you, receiving the individualized instruction according to their IEPs. And so, as I wrap up those first 2 bullet points, these are all of the pieces of the plan and the professional development support that we'll be building in, not just for administrators, but also for our staff that are directly in front of these students in each of the buildings.
Why don't you take a drink, because I have a question, I'll let you.
Okay.
Okay. I know previously Dr. Harkin was talking about the science of reading, and I want to make sure that I understand this correctly.
Okay.
What you just described is the science of reading and the strands. That is what we are going to be helping our teachers improve, do better in the classroom. Therefore, the students should be able to improve.
Yes, and so I want to make sure that I say this is not new to some of our teachers, right? Our goal is to go deep and understand why we have these gaps and what areas we might be missing that need more attention, so we can ensure the students are, when we talk about that word recognition strand, if I don't have my phonics when I leave 2nd grade and I go into 3rd grade, but I can identify sight words, I can't necessarily put together what I'm reading to comprehend what's going on in the story. So now I have a gap, and now I'm at a disadvantage compared to my peers. So our goal is to make sure that specifically in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, we're hitting those types of skills to make sure that we're building that up before 3rd grade, so we can also help our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers that the gaps continue to grow if they come with the phonics gap from kindergarten into 3rd grade. And so all those strands that I talked about put together is a piece of the science of reading, which is called Scarborough's Rope.
Thank you.
I have a follow-up question. So they need all the 8 parts between the 5 and the 3. Do we have a mechanism to be checking that specifically that they're learning those strands? I know we use iReady, but I don't know whether that kind of aligns with the science of reading.
Okay. Yes, it's a complex type task, right? It's not just the responsibility of the classroom teacher, it's also the responsibility of building administration to provide those supports to the collaborative teams. Those collaborative teams are using that iReady and that IAR data to make decisions initially, but then they will use their team common formative assessments or any other assessments that their team selects to determine if students have mastery of an expected skill. And so the goal of our office's administration as well as principals will be to support those teams in, do you have the supports that you need to build those assessments or the understanding or the resources to teach those things in your classroom? And where can we improve?
Okay, yes.
You highlight 3% for all student groups. In one of the past presentations, I think you were part of it, we talked about specific schools, and there were a few schools that there were bigger gaps than others in populations, especially in the reading area. So will that 3% look differently by school, by cohort? Can you talk a little bit about that? Because we talked about the intensity of a few schools being a little bit greater, a little more robust.
Yeah. So further in my notes here, I was going to talk a little bit more in math, but it also pertains to literacy, which is as they're meeting in those collaborative teams, right? We start with our big picture data, which is the IAR and the iReady, which is what you're speaking to, where you see those different gaps at different schools. It is the role of that building principal and their teams to then take that data down to a level further to look at who is just ready for grade level material, and that's where I really need to focus with that group of students too. Oh, they're all receiving tier 1. So everybody receives that, but we always have a group of kids in the classroom that are right there at grade level and they're not below, so they don't need tier 2, which would be more support, or tier 3. But we do have students that have already mastered and are performing above. It is the role of the building principal and those teams to determine who needs support depending on what that data looks like when they get down to the school level. And I know that you have heard Dr. Harkin previously speak about building-wide data meetings that we have reincorporated, supporting our schools to take part in as a result of focusing back on that data. And those are the types of decisions that the buildings would be making that are specific to their building data to support students.
And I would just say, though, to your question, right, no matter what, we're going to be working intensely to ensure that, right, ultimately we want all kids to be able to read, specifically at 3rd grade, before they leave the system. So certainly when we set the 3% benchmark, research would say 3% is a pretty aggressive mark for where we need to go. But absolutely, the challenge will be out there to exceed the 3%. And absolutely, I think for us, it will be targeting those kids specifically. And we'll be talking about how we use interventions as well, too, to then make sure that how do we as quickly as possible close the gap. But we wanted to put a realistic target of what research says that we believe that we should hit. But again, those schools, and specifically the one school that we are currently watching, we're working very closely with to ensure we catch those up. And we're actually seeing already great gains from our initial data that we're well above 3% for the specific school that you're referring to. I believe we're at probably 12 or 15%.
Specifically for the growth measure.
Yes.
That's great, and it's a great explanation. I just wanted the community to know that there are times when we go through a strategic plan that there's add-ups that we're looking at a district level, and that there's so much going on a by student or cohort level, by grade, then down to the student. And several of us have seen that in action without students' names, but we've seen it in action. And it is intense, it is extremely rigorous, and I just want to make sure that the community understands that it's not 3% for every child. That's we're hearing. Thank you.
So you can see in our next 2 bullets here, we have dual language, kindergarten through 2nd grade. We'll continue literacy integration in Spanish language arts. And for 3rd through 5th grade, we'll allot a 70-minute instructional block for English and a 70-minute instructional block for Spanish, to total 140 minutes of literacy instruction, maintaining the 50-50 model, meaning 50% of their day instructionally in Spanish and 50% in English. When we look at bullet number 5, we utilize high impact instructional strategies to support all students. And this isn't to say this is not already in place. This is to say, what do we know that is working well to continue to use for all students, just as a tier 1 consistent decision for our district and our schools, and continue to build and grow on that for all students. And so I will again refer to the collaborative teams, that they will be planning for instruction, monitoring all students' learning, and supporting all of those tiers of instruction to provide opportunities for students to demonstrate their learning as well as create content. And so we will be selecting instructional strategies that allow students the opportunities to do those things in the classroom. According to the National Council of Teachers of English, students should have opportunities to engage in high levels quality of writing instruction, vocabulary, word structures, and text structures. Additionally, students benefit from making meaning of words, self-monitoring, having reflection about what they're reading, and that reflection happens before, during, and after they engage in the meaningful and diverse texts. And so, just to summarize, that is some of the work that we are doing for literacy in District 300.
Board members, any questions? Dr. Smith, I, for one, appreciate the fact that you're showing the research rather than just coming up with, let's do this, let's do that. You're actually looking at research, how to improve academic and student achievement, and I appreciate that. I do.
Yeah, we want to go with the experts. We got one chance with these kids.
Correct. Correct. Thank you very much.
So now let's talk about math. With additional time now in math as well, we will have K2 teachers doing things like daily routines, lesson launch, small group instruction, rigorous math centers or stations, and checking for understanding daily. Within these components, teachers and students can use manipulatives, student collaboration, and math discourse regularly. You will see here that we have increased the math block to 90 minutes in kindergarten through 2nd grade and 70 minutes for our dual language program students. When we say block, literacy block, math block, block of time, that's just the structure, the name of the structure that we're using, where we build these components in for a number of minutes throughout that total number of minutes, for example, 90 minutes. Within grades 3 through 5, we will have a 60-minute math block. Bullet 2, you can see there, support professional learning communities in strengthening their Tier 2 instruction. Part of what I just mentioned for the Tier 1, just to remind you, that instructional block is for all students. So that's access to learning that all students receive. When we talk about Tier 2, we're talking about students who might need just a little extra help, but that help comes from their classroom teacher. Our math department and the building level administration will support the professional learning communities as they plan for this Tier 2 instruction. This instruction will be strengthened through a focus of reteaching and enriching. And so once the students take those pre or those post assessments, decisions are made by those teams to determine, do they need a reteach of a skill, or have they already mastered it and we need an enrichment option for them? Tier 2 includes, at times, enrichment as well. We will make sure that professional development for all teachers and admin are available to support this. And I talked about centers and math manipulatives. And then using the high impact instructional strategies in math include math discourse, student engagement, and small group instruction for both elementary and secondary levels. So when we talk about secondary level students in math discourse, this provides students the opportunity to share their thinking with their classmates. And so when we think about a general classroom, we walk in, we could see just the teacher engaging in conversation back and forth with one student or a group of students. The goal, because we talk about student engagement and student voice, is that students have the chance to speak to the class or speak to each other. And when you engage students in learning, specifically math, where they can really demonstrate how they solved a problem, you want to allow them opportunities to ask their classmates questions about different strategies and how strategies are used and what thought process they use to get to a solution. And so you sometimes wonder, what is engagement or upping instruction look really? You have it in your head, high school. We go in, kids might be in rows. But it is the conversation and the engagement of the activities that students are taking part in that differentiates what that engagement, that student voice looks like in the classroom. Questions about math?
Yes, I do. You referred just a couple minutes ago, Dr. Smith, about the professional development.
Mm-hmm.
Is that ongoing throughout the year? Is that only at the start of the year? Can you just give us an explanation on that?
So we have already begun professional development for some of the things that you've heard here tonight for literacy and math. That professional development will continue throughout the rest of this school year, the summer, and the entire school year next year.
Okay, good, thank you.
We also have this supported by our coaches that are specifically in those content areas as well too. So teachers have the ability, once they may want extra assistance, or, in their PLCs, they identify something that they could work and connect with their coach, and that's by schedule, so they can have on-demand professional development through our coaches as well too, where they maybe are seeing a group of students that aren't responding specifically to a specific instructional strategy. So that's something that you authorized several years ago. That's a very beneficial tool that teachers can use right on the spot when they identify needs for students during the day.
Good.
And so ultimately what this looks like is, because we have those building-wide data meetings that are specific to the needs of buildings and the students at those schools, that is where the principal also has the option to work with their in-house teams to determine what type of professional development do we need as a building to support what we're doing for our students.
Good. Board members, any other questions? Thank you.
I will now turn it over to Dr. Freeman.
Thank you. Good evening, board. I will be sharing information on the last two key priority areas for Goal 2, which is academic MTSS and rigorous coursework. To help establish a common understanding of key priority 2C, I'd like to share the definition of MTSS, which stands for Multi-Tiered System of Support. This is a framework for continuous improvement that is systemic, prevention-focused, and data-informed. MTSS provides a consistent continuum of supports that are responsive to meet the needs of students and all learners. This definition comes from the research of the Illinois MTSS Network and EAB. Here on the slide, you'll see there are 3 action items that fall under this key priority. The first one is utilizing identified Tier 3 instructional resources that are research-based and aligned to targeted skills for intervention. What that means is we can diagnose an area where a student needs extra support, such as phonemic awareness or algebraic thinking. And we can provide specific materials and interventions that meet their individual needs. This also helps to honor the learning that they already have mastered. Measuring student growth helps us understand how individual students are responding to the interventions. Our principals and our interventionists will look at this data and look for ways to recognize and celebrate the growth that's occurring at all grade levels. In the second bullet, you'll see that we'll also be monitoring the fidelity and implementation of intervention at all grade levels. We'll monitor student attendance in reading and math interventions to ensure that students who need extra help get the extra help. In this way, we can respond if a school needs extra support to ensure that interventions are in place as designed and to support student learning. And the final bullet there indicates that our professional learning communities and collaborative teams, in cooperation with the principal, will continue with data meetings that are already in place, looking at the data and determining if these efforts are working and how they might need to be adjusted for further efficacy. Data analysis, of course, is an important part of our continuous improvement plan so that we can adjust as needed.
Can you just remind us, when are your data meetings? When are they one time a year, twice, 3 times, what?
Yes, our data meetings are in place post-COVID now after each benchmark from iReady. So students take an iReady assessment, we analyze and interpret the data together and quickly jump in to provide interventions and support as needed. Okay. So that's 3 times a year, fall, winter, and spring. Okay. At the bottom of this slide, you'll see our SMART goal and our key performance indicator, which is to increase attendance by 7% for Tier 3 remediation sessions for the coming school year. We track this using our PowerSchool student information system and the attendance logs that our interventionists keep. I'm happy to answer other questions about this key priority before I move to our final one for the evening.
Board members, anything? Okay. Continue.
Thank you. I'll keep going. We are on priority 2D. Here we go. This priority focus area is focused on rigorous coursework. Our research base for this is our partnership with the Education Systems Center at Northern Illinois University. There is also extensive legislation on this topic, as noted on the slide, which is the Post-Secondary and Workforce Readiness Act, also known as House Bill 3296. This legislation was signed into law May 27th of 2022 and builds on the 2016 Post-Secondary and Workforce Readiness Act. The legislation requires communities statewide to develop and implement high-quality college and career pathways to ensure that students are prepared for their next step after high school. In our first action item that you see listed there, we will be working to provide equitable dual credit opportunities for students in both core and elective areas. This action item requires us to continue to develop a framework and to establish expectations for all students to have career and post-secondary exploration opportunities. This will equip students to make the best possible post-secondary decisions for themselves upon graduation from high school. This supports students in both accelerating their success when possible and also decreases the amount of time after graduation where they're still thinking about what their next step and future goals might be. There is a direct link here on this action item to our district vision, which is to empower and equip each student to reach their highest potential in their chosen pathway. The second action item reflects the multitude of opportunities that we will develop for students to have career exploration experiences. As we grow, our programs will include work-based learning such as internships, industry-recognized credentials, and early college credit, so that students have a multitude of opportunities within their career field of interest to either continue their education, to jump into the workforce, or any combination of the two. And then finally, item 3 on the slide there is providing pathways for additional industry-recognized certifications. We have several industry-recognized certifications in place already, such as the American Welding Society Certified Welder, ServSafe Food Handler and Allergen Certification for culinary students, Automotive Service Excellence certifications in areas such as maintenance, light repair, engine repair, brakes, and more. And then we have areas that we're working on for additional certifications, which include but are not limited to Occupational Safety and Health Administration, known as OSHA, their 10-hour general certificate, Microsoft Office certificates, Adobe, and also Autodesk, which is computer-aided design software. At the bottom of this slide, you'll see our SMART goal and KPI for this area, which is focused on improving alignment for college, career, and advanced coursework enrollments to be plus or minus 5% of our various district high school student demographics, which represents all student groups that they have access to these rigorous course options. So with that, I'm happy to answer questions on this final key priority, or any one of the team might answer questions that you have from our presentation.
Leslie?
I'm just wondering if you could, I don't understand the goal. Could you unpack that a little bit?
I sure can. So we have a variety of courses in place and more that we're in development in these career areas. We want to make sure that all of our students have access to these rigorous courses, that there's not a disproportionality of the types of student groups who enroll in dual credit, in CTE courses, in advanced placement courses. Sometimes we think there's a stereotypical student who might fit into these areas. We want to assure that we have opportunities and experiences available for all demographic groups, and that our demographics are equally represented in all of our rigorous courses. That's the measurement we'll be looking at.
Okay, so as a parent in
Yes.
the district, I just have to ask, so is there going to be an intersection there somewhere with the pathway program?
Absolutely. This is very closely entwined with the pathways that are already in place. It simply calls out this opportunity for rigorous coursework and those post-secondary job workplace experiences for all kids.
Okay, great.
Yes, thanks for that question. Any others, board?
Any others, board members? No. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would just say, just one of the things that going back, because Les, you asked a great question, right? Because what does this mean, right? So I hear you. So we are behind the scenes as well. Additionally, right, we're trying to measure, right, so that we can say, did we make changes? Again, when we talked about what are our big rocks as well. We are in the process of expanding our pathway programs at various high schools, making sure that we have more certified, recognized, and I could probably bring Joe up here. There is other work that is going on in this area as well too. This is just where we really want to have measurements this time in alignment. But we are in the process, and we can certainly provide an update at a future board meeting, which is, again, what new work are we doing to expand our pathways for all students as well too. And I don't know if that was your question, but yep. So we definitely are working on more of them that when they leave the school district, that we have more students that can have a certification when they leave. That is the one that aligns to what the state board is. That work is all taking place as well too. That's already in progress. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that I attended the CTE session, the first one that was held, and I think that really did a great job of explaining some of the hurdles and obstacles, the places where we'd like to go to, but just it is very rigorous. Like the boxes you have to be able to check to offer certain things. Like I know a lot of people would love a nursing has been brought up, and a lot of different things, and they're great ideas, but it does take some time, and I think it seems like we're doing a great job with the ones that we have been able to offer so far, and we're definitely, I got the sense, looking to expand those as much as we can, and that might be a good update to give to the community as well.
Right. And if you recall, these are all through June 30th of 2024. So right now, again, we're going deeper. This isn't a strategic plan for 5 years. This is just the work we're going to do for the next year. So then we will be coming back at this time next year to talk about, okay, are we ready to expand into these other areas, because we feel like we've accomplished getting the programs we have with the rigor and the right certifications, that they actually are full intact programs. And then we will be coming back to you in a year from now, because check, these are done, and now here's the next set of work. But our focus right now is, let's make sure we do what work we're doing narrowly, thoroughly, and to the best of what will be sustainable over time.
Dr. Smith?
I just wanted to add too, as mentioned at our previous board meeting, Dr. Harkin talked about we will be providing updates through our key performance indicators about progress on these goals as well for the next year.
Very good. Any other board members? Mr. Fiorentino.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the team, because we've boiled down hours and hours of work by a very diverse group of people to a slide or two in each of those areas. So well done on that, and making it concise, but clearly we're data-driven. We're also setting goals with numbers to them. I'd just like to say thank you for that. I too would love something on pathways and CTE. I think it's probably one of the most asked questions we get out in the community. I think people are familiar with a few that have been out there for a while and that are robust and are actually like the Hampshire program. I mean, we don't have slots, right? It's full.
We've added slots. So, we're continuing to evolve on that piece.
So very proud of those things. Thank you.
Absolutely. And certainly, I think another thing that we could put here, because we've done the measurements, but continuing to refine and improve our current existing programs is something that is working. So we can add that because in some of these there aren't numbers, it actually is just work. And so right now when we say KPIs, those are number driven, right? But there will be a comprehensive, robust expansion of our current CTE offerings, and in ways that have all the components that are meaningful to our students. And that is being worked on rigorously by Mr. Joski in the back room there. And he's doing an amazing job, so. All right, and that concludes the superintendent's report, and we'll be back next board meeting to go through goals 3, 4, and 5 in the same direction. And if you have any feedback that you want this format a little bit differently, please let me know so we can incorporate that into the next board meeting.
Item number 10 are the consent items under $25,000. As a note to those in attendance, both virtually and in person, some of these items have been vetted through either the Finance Committee or the Construction Facilities Oversight Committee, CFOC, which is why there may not be a need for new discussion. Do I have a motion to approve the consent items under $25,000?
Second.
Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
All right. Thomas. Aye. Fiorentino.
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
Burkett.
Aye.
Lamarca. Aye. Stevens. And Zettler. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Item number 11, consent items over $25,000. As a note to those in attendance, both virtually and in person, some of these items have been vetted through either the Finance Committee or the Construction Facilities Oversight Committee, CFOC, which is why there may not be a need for new discussion. Do I have a motion to approve the consent items over $25,000?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Lamarca. Aye. Fiorentino.
Aye.
Burkett.
Aye.
Zettler.
Aye.
Thomas. Stevens.
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Item 12, roll call action items. Item 12.1, approval of board policy updates. Do I have a motion for approval of the board policy updates?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Zettler.
Aye.
Burkett.
Aye.
Lamarca. Aye. Scarpino.
Aye.
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Thomas. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Item 12.2, approval of K through 12 ELA, SLA, 6 through 12 science, 6 through 12 college and career exploration platform curriculum adoption. Do I have a motion for approval of the K-12 ELA, SLA, 6 through 12 science, 6 through 12 college and career exploration platform curriculum adoption?
So moved.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Zettler.
Aye.
Thomas. Burkett.
Aye.
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Lamarca. Aye. Scarpino.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item 13, any updates for the board committees at all?
Next meeting is a Monday, right? March 13th, do I have that right?
Okay.
So we only have one meeting in March.
Okay. Any board discussion? Yes, Ms. Zettler?
I have a question. We're getting some information out there in the public that our DEI program is costing millions of dollars a year. Can you give us a little idea of what the funding's like on that program?
So, sure. So we do have several employees that are currently working in our buildings in alignment with our efforts to have an inclusive environment. We have 4 coaches and Mr. Harry's, all of that as well under $1 million. And when we equate it, and he's got a very small budget because we keep him on a very tight oversight. And so roughly that's, when you look at our overall budget, it's about 0.2%, but it's definitely nowhere near millions of dollars and definitely underneath $1 million.
And same thing for SEL. Again, people are distributing misinformation that our SEL programs are millions of dollars a year.
No, that would not be accurate. In fact, we had a very old version of our second step that I think we're just in the process of upgrading. I believe it was a 10-year-old program, and so we're in the process of getting updated resources for that. And probably the only expense that we specifically have that would go along that we do have our positive behavior intervention system coaches that get a small stipend to do that work to support our buildings, to help support our staff, to make sure that our students are feeling supported in their learning environment.
And just to make it clear, both of these programs are very beneficial to every single student in this district, correct?
Absolutely. Certainly our children come to us with various needs. whether it be social emotional, whether it be academic, whether it be physical, whatever those challenges are, we provide whatever supports those students need to be successful, to be learners, to leave and exit our system so that they can become successful citizens. And we have a whole variety of different supports that we provide to all students dependent upon their individual needs. And certainly social emotional is sometimes an area that our students need that until we can help support them get over whatever that barrier might be, they won't be able to learn. And so absolutely, with our end goal to make sure our students are equipped to leave our system to be successful, we will provide that support as needed, and work with the families in that effort as well too.
And this is important for our goal to work with the whole child.
Exactly. This aligns very closely to Goal 1.
Yeah.
Students cannot learn unless they feel in a safe space and they are ready for learning, and sometimes that is a barrier. And absolutely, that's why it is our #1 goal, because if kids can't come to school ready to learn, no matter how wonderful our teachers are, those students aren't going to be able to be successful in our system. And so unfortunately, there are times that we have to provide those supports because the best of best teachers need maybe some extra support for their students in that area for them to work their magic with our students that they always do.
Because it just makes sense that a child needs to be ready to learn, not meaning they have a pen and a notebook, but ready to learn emotionally, physically, things like that, before we can even start teaching them anything.
Yeah, Maslow's hierarchy of what we look at, right? Those foundational things can't take place for a kid to self-actualize to.
It makes sense, because if you have a kid who's dealing with all kinds of issues, they're not going to have the bandwidth or the ability to learn to concentrate on anything but what's going on that they have no control of.
Yep, and that could hit any student in any of our demographic groups in any way, shape, or form.
Right, especially after something like COVID.
Right.
So, thank you.
Any other board members? Dr. Harkin, I have a couple questions. Tonight during public comments, and I wish the individuals were still here, do we have any plans currently of closing any schools?
We do not have any plans of closing any school. In fact, we're probably one of the, when we received the analysis from the large unit district associations, we're one of the few districts that have a growing enrollment, and our enrollment has gone up for the last 2 years.
Okay. Are we trying to take parental rights away?
All we do is comply with what's required by us for the state. On certain circumstances, there are pieces of, what we will follow, but we are definitely partnering. Our biggest desire at all times is to partner with our parents to benefit their students. There is no gain in it for us to circumvent what that process would be. So to the extent that that's best for our students, it's best for our families, that's best for all of us when that works effectively.
Thank you. I came to this district in 2004, July 1st in 2004. And what I'm about to say, board members have heard this. I just want to repeat it because I personally believe that this district, do we have room for improvement? Yes, we do. But we have currently, in 2022, we had a 96% overall graduation rate, and the state was 87%.
That's correct.
Dundee Crown was at 95%. The state average was 87%. Hampshire High School, 97%. The state, again, 87%. And Jacobs, 97%, and again, the state, 87%. Our scholarship information, last school year, class of 2022 had $18.7 million worth of scholarships. Better than class of 2021 at $17.4 million, which is not shabby, and better than 2 years ago, 2020 of $15.4 million. We were recognized as one of the Nietzsche's best school districts in Illinois. We were ranked 136th in 2014, and last school year, we were ranked 70th. We-
And
we
actually,
ha-
that's, and then this year, I'm sorry, so we were ranked 60th for this year.
There you go.
So it did even improve that much more.
Thank you. And just as a caveat, I'm glad Mr. Williamson is here. We have some outstanding teachers, paraprofessionals, administrators, and we couldn't do it without them.
Yep,
We
support
couldn't.
staff,
So
absolutely.
I want to say that publicly. So I truly appreciate that. The other thing, AP exams, advanced proficiency exams. Last year, we recorded the highest cumulative number of completed AP exams in our district's history, 2,600, as compared to 2019 year, we had 2,391. Last year, for AP courses, we had 15.6% of all District 300 ninth grade students enrolled in at least one AP course. Our enrollment has increased by 285 over the past 2 years. We spends $2,000 less per student than the state average. For financial recognition, and I've heard this in past board meetings, you know, we need to do a better job of monitoring our finances and everything. We have received the Certificate of Excellence Award in Financial Reporting for 14 years. The Meritorious Budget Award for 14 years. The Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for 14 years. The school district financial profile, our score has risen from a 2.65, I remember that,
I remember that too.
You do, yes you do, to a 3.90 recognition in 2021 out of a scale of 4.0. Board members, we as a district, as a board of education, as the faculty, as support staff and administrators, you know what? No, we're not perfect, but I am extremely proud of what is taking place in this district. I really am. And it's kudos. Kudos to all of you who are here and who are watching. I appreciate that. And we couldn't do it without the parents. Yeah. Think about that. Yeah. The support we have from the parents and the kids, I'm very proud. I really am. So I just wanted to say that. So, Mr. Stevens.
I'm really glad that you did that, Dr. Scarpino. I think it surprises even me, who've been around a whole long time, only a couple of years less than you, but I can tell you that I wish you had done that when we had a larger crowd, because I think you should repeat that when we have some of the naysayers here. I really do think you should repeat it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I would just say, to your point, that we have an amazing staff.
We do.
At every single level. And again, when we spend $2,000 less than the state average and have less resources, and yet you heard tonight all of the various hard work that we're doing to continue to improve, because we have to. That's our commitment to our students. I'm extremely proud to lead this district with the people that are dedicated to this work, because they make me look good every day, and I'm very proud of what we're doing for our students and families.
Item number 14, do I have a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of discussing, 1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body, 2, parenthesis 1, litigation, 2, parenthesis 11, and 3, school security procedures, school building safety and security, and the use of personnel to respond to an actual, a threatened, or a reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, staff, the public, or public property, 2, parenthesis 8. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Madam Secretary, would you please take, and with no action to follow, Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Zettler? Aye. Thomas? Aye. Fiorentino?
Aye.
Scarpino?
Aye.
Stevens? Aye. Burkett?
Aye.
Lamarca? Aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.